And how will all of this overnight action impact our own markets? Our research team joining in with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the setup on the F&O side of things as well. Firstly, Vamakshi joins in to get all the market cues we need to watch out for today. Vamakshi, good morning. It was a fairly resilient session yesterday. The bulls will be hoping for a replica today.
Well, absolutely, Hormaz. When we look at the trading session yesterday, the investors did take note of Trump administration's tariff rollout. The Nifty did see a dip of almost 82 points to 23,250 thereabouts. Apart from that, Sensex also saw a fall of around 322 points. The advance decline ratio, though, was firmly in favor of the advances. The mid caps as well as the small cap index, both of them outperformed the benchmark indices, and they continue to do so over the last couple of trading sessions. Both of these indices closed marginally higher. As far as sectoral indices are concerned, it was pharma all the way. The pharma pack led the gains. Ipca Labs, Lupin, and some other stocks also gain anywhere between 4 to 6% due to exemption from tariffs. PSU banks, media stocks were some other stocks that were some other sectors that were actually contributing to the gains. But on the flip side, the IT stocks faced tremendous heat as growth concerns loomed. As far as the US markets are concerned, it was market mayhem out there. The Dow tumbled 1,600 points. Look at the fall on S&P as well as Nasdaq. They've dropped the most since 2020. The US Treasury yields, for that matter, also fell sharply to the lowest level that we've seen since October. The dollar index too saw a very sharp fall to a 6-month low of 101.5. As far as economic cues are concerned, not much lined up out here, but India's S&P services PMI data will be disclosed today. But apart from that, as far as the Nifty is concerned, the important levels to watch out for: immediate hurdle is placed on the upside at 23,400, support coming in at 23,100. And let's also look at what the GIFT Nifty is indicating. It is indicating a gap down start to the Indian market.
A gap down start, but this slight improvement as well. We were 125 lower at the start of the show. It's slightly 90 points lower now is what the implied open currently suggesting. Over to Upasna now, who has a long list of stocks that you need to keep an eye out for today. Upasna, good morning.
Good morning, Hormaz. Well, certainly a long list on the back of Q4 updates. First up is HDFC Bank. The company saw quarter-end deposit growth moderated to 14% versus 16% reported in third quarter. AUM growth was tad higher, up 7.3% on a YoY basis and about 3% sequentially. Next up is Bajaj Finance. Overall, a good update. The new loans booked saw a growth of 36%, and AUM also saw a growth of 26% in line with company's guidance of 25 to 27%. Now, growth in customer base saw an uptick of 22% and new loan booking at 36% on a YoY basis. Now, RBI Bank will also be in focus as total deposits saw a growth of 7% and CASA was up 4%. L&T Finance also gave its Q4 business update. The retail loan book saw an uptick of 19%, but the bank's retail disbursement remained flat with just about 1% growth on a YoY basis. Bandhan Bank also reported its Q4 numbers. The loans and advances saw an uptick of 10%, but total deposits stood as high as 12% on a YoY basis. Avenue Supermart also reported its Q4 numbers. The revenue growth remained steady at 17% at 14,464 crores. The net store additions stood at 28, which was the highest quarterly increase in the stores. Vedanta will also be in focus as company reported its Q4 numbers. The aluminium production saw an uptick of just about 1% on a YoY basis and downtick of 2% sequentially. Adani Wilmar also reported its Q4 update. The company achieves 7% of volume growth and revenue growth of 36%. Mazgaon Dog government says that it to sell up to 4.83 stake in the company via OFS, and floor price is set at 2,525 per share. Ultratech Cement also in focus as company says it will acquire Wonder Wall Care for 235 crore. And lastly, Bajaj Mines will also be in focus as company commissions 6 megawatt solar power plant. So all these stocks will remain in focus today.
Upasna, thanks a lot for that list. And finally, Sudarshan joins in with cues from the F&O space. Sudarshan, good morning. A gap down, but hopefully the bulls will be looking that the dip gets bought into today as well.
Well, yesterday we had at least weekly expired to save the day, but for today we'll have to see, because as of now cues from the global markets are looking very weak. If there was any hope for the recovery in the US market, well, the things only got worse, and at the end of the day US market posted a very different picture, very dim picture, and the loss in single day loss was the worst in the last 5 years, basically since the COVID 2020 that US market has seen. For today, GIFT Nifty is indicating a gap down start. It's down nearly 100 points. Talk about yesterday's session, I'll say it was a healthy day of trade for us. While Sensex and Nifty have seen a close with minor cuts, broader markets saw healthy gains. Both mid-cap index and Nifty Bank were higher at the close. Now, talking about the institutional flows, FIs yesterday sold nearly 3,000 crore in the cash market. For DIs, buying figure was just rupees 220 crore. If you look at the derivative side, also in the index futures, FIs have sold nearly 2,000 crore. They have also reduced long positions by more than 1,700 contracts, and at the same time, they have added short positions by more than 9,000 contracts. Now, their long exposure is at 30%, which is lowest in last few days. Now coming to the option side, on the call side, if you see 24,000 call has seen very healthy addition. Their addition was nearly 32 lakh shares, and next was 23,300 call, where the addition was more than 29 lakh shares. Now coming to the put side, 23,000 put has seen addition of more than 34 lakh shares, and 22,800 put has seen addition of more than 40 lakh shares. So it tells you that basically option writers have hedged their position. That's the reason 24,000 call was active. Lastly, support for Nifty is now at 22,980 and resistance is at 23,450. Stocks that will be in focus, keep an eye on IT stocks because of big fall in Nasdaq, and lastly on all the OMC, IOC, BPCL and HPCL because of the fall in the crude.
Oh, absolutely. 7% lower overnight were the crude oil prices, and all these oil sensitives will be in focus. Darshan, thanks a lot for that.